trademarks and provide a better understanding of the procedure to be followed for filing patent applications. I thank all for your participation and hope that this webinar is beneficial for you and you will be able to gain knowledge on the structure of Indian IPR system and procedure of filing a patent application. Thank you all. Continue with Latin verse, sir. Continue Latin.
थँक्यू मॅडम. यानंतर या वेबिनारमध्ये मनोगत व्यक्त करण्यासाठी मी आमंत्रित करतो आहे आमच्या महाविद्यालयाचे उपाचार्य डॉक्टर आदर्श सर यांना विनंती आहे की त्यांनी आपले मनोगत व्यक्त करावे.
Hello, can I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Latirwa, sir. First of all, I would like to congratulate the Department of one national webinar on the same topics, but once again this topic is very vast and we must know the clarity on the topics, and that's why once again Commerce Department's going ahead and organize this very beautiful seminar. Actually, intellectual properties right gives an exclusive right to the creator who use his innovations or creation for some period of time. Just like a creation in the section of patents, domain names, some unique designing for the industrial uses, moral rights, database rights, even though the farmer rights and many more. In India, these intellectual properties have been widely used by the intellectual creator, means in the field of industries, in the field of science innovations. Generally, these properties may well known in an urban area rather than the rural area. As we know that the India have a many intellectual personality in the rural area too. But in the rural area, there are many persons who create something new, but they don't know how to register, how to make legal their innovations. So by organizing this programs, we have many students which are coming from the rural area, so they know how to register if they have some new creation in their mind, and if their family or some relatives create something new, then they will have to register by knowing how to make legalizations under the intellectual rights. So I am not spending much time because we are much eager to learn many things from the today's speakers. So that's why I would like to congratulate once again all of you and thank you very much. Thank you. Over to Latirwa, sir. Over to Dr. Latirwa, sir.
Today's national webinar, our respected resource person, Dr. M.M. BETKAR, Principal, Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, Ausa, Latur, Maharashtra. He is research supervisor, and principal of the institute. 7 patents are on his name,
बाकी सब सही है
invited by
चेक कर
international
लिया था
conferences as keynote
नहीं
speaker
तुमने वो देख
at
लिया
Singapore
था
and Hong Kong. Presentation in international conference at Indonesia, Thailand. More than 50 research paper published. Awarded gold medal for his research innovation from state government of Maharashtra under Interview University Research Festival. Awarded as Best Principal of the Year 2018 by IASR Institute, Kolkata. Completed research project in material science. Invited as speaker from all over country for more than 200 speeches as expert of IPR and patent filing, also on NAC subject. Published one book on NAC SSR preparation. Organized more than 250 international and national events as a conferences and webinars. So I request to Mr. Betkar sir, please deliver his lecture. Mr. Betkar sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you are audible, yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Hello, Dr. Betkar sir. Sir, actually, if you have shared your presentation, it is not visible and nor your video is visible. So just check it out whether you have switched on your camera or if you have presented. So your presentation is not going on. Your screen is not visible to us. Yeah. No, not yet. It's not visible. No, sir, not yet. It is only showing that symbol of ODS or something like that, but your screen is not visible. Now it is okay, sir. It is visible. Proceed.
बोला ना.
बोलत नाही आहे पण ते तर त्याला तिथे मोठा मोबाईल लागतो ना.
हा. कोण सांगला?
Information and Communication from Anna University, Chennai. She has 21 years teaching experience in St. Peter's Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. For 2 years, she chaired as principal in Chennai Institute of Technology and for 1 year in Mangalam College of Engineering, Kottayam. She also worked as academic coordinator and professor and head ECE at SA Engineering College, Chennai. She has been published 120 research papers in national and international journals and conferences. She also published one book. She is recognized as supervisor and guided and produced 3 doctorates. And in process, she is guiding to 5 research scholars. She is member of editorial board and she received funds 14 lakhs from CVRDE for CAR project titled A Study on Fault Diagnosis and Health Management of Engine Control Junction Box for Arjun MBT MKI in 2016 SAEC. She has been occupied different positions in institutional levels like Dean Engineering and Technology, Principal, N, uh, NAC Coordinator, Convocation Head, etc. And she got Lifetime Achievement Award from Joy Alucas in association with KIMS Hospital during Women's Day celebration, Kottayam. She got Research Excellence Award and Outstanding Faculty Award in Electronic Engineering from Venus International Foundation. She also given the talk as resource person on different topics at different places and chaired as judge also. So, with this introduction, I would like to request today's resource person, Dr. Mathana ma'am. Please start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anita ma'am, for a nice introduction about me. Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am.
Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Engineering and Technology, St. Peter's Institute of Higher Education and Research. First of all, I thank to all the organizing committee members, especially Dr. BETKAR sir, Principal of Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, who connected me. Thank you so much. And I thank the Vice Principal of the college, Professor SD Miss Program, Dr. Anil Wadkar, then organizer of the program, Dr. Dayanand, then the co-organizer, Dr. Anita ma'am, so much for giving this opportunity. Actually, the today's presentation title is Research in Curriculum. So actually, the main objective of today's presentation is how to improve the research competency of the undergraduate students through the effective teaching learning process. So this is the outline of my presentation. The essence of the presentation is to understand the definition of research, then what are the steps involved in the research process, then how we are going to implement the research in curriculum through the effective teaching learning process. So first I will give you a small intro about what is research and the types of research, Then how we link the research in the syllabus of a course with an example. Right. So we all know that research means creation of new knowledge, or we can say with the existing knowledge we are creating or generating the new concept, methodologies, and understanding. So now we are in 21st century. So in this century, research is very very important in the economic development of the country, and also it is much important. So why? Because we the faculty members are the key resource persons of the higher education institution. There are different kinds of research are available. Based on application, we have pure and applied research. Based on objectives, we have exploratory, explanatory, descriptive, and correlation research information. Based on that, we have qualitative and quantitative research. Now, there are variety of approaches are there to do the research process. Now, I'm going to give one such type. So, what are all the steps involved in research process? So now I hope that faculty members from arts, science, and engineering may be available. Since I'm from engineering background, I'm giving an engineering example. So in engineering, we have so many programs like electronics and communication, computer science, information technology, mechanical, civil, so many. That you are from electronics, choose the research area. After that, in that particular research area, what is your interesting topic? What is your niche? We have to find out. Then, after finding that, we should identify the research problem. Then we have to go survey, literature survey. Then we have to develop our objectives, which design, collect the data, process the data, analyze the data, then get the result. Then we have to write the report. So now I will explain how we have to identify the problem and also the other steps. For first 5 minutes, research problem is a perceived difficulty, a feeling of discomfort, or we can say it is a difference between a common belief and a reality to be a research problem. For that, three conditions has to be satisfied. One is always there will be a discrepancy between what it is and why it should have been. That is, what is exist and what is our plan. Always there will be a discrepancy or difference between what is exist and what is our plan. That is the first condition. And second one is, yes, discrepancy is available, right? Good. Now, why this discrepancy exists? That is the second condition. So always we have a question that why the discrepancy. That is the second condition. And the third one is, right, discrepancy is there. The reason of the discrepancy, minimum we need two answer or two solution. If only one answer is there for why means it is not a research problem. So minimum two reasons or two solutions have to do now. We have to write the statement of the problem. Then we have to give the justification of the problem and analyzing the problem. So first one is statement of the problem. So statement should be always well clear and well defined. So if the problem of the research is well clear mean, then that is the foundation of the development of the research. So if it is well defined, then only the researcher can why he took that research, why the proposed research on problem should be undertaken by him or her. Okay, so the statement of the problem is very, very important. Right. Now, statement of the problem is ready. Next, justification. My dear faculty member, even during the project oral presentation, for UG students, PG students. First, we will conduct a zeroth review, right? So at that time, I used to ask, justify the title of your project. Most of the students doesn't know what is the meaning of justification of the project title, or for researcher the justification of the problem. Justification of the problem means the researcher should say that why he or she select that research problem, why that problem of study is important, how large and widespread is the problem. He or she has to convince other, he has to tell the importance of the research problem. That is called justification. Then next one is analyzing. Analyzing means each researcher should give a good attention to the what are the viewpoints of the other researcher who are all done their research in the same area. Okay, that's very important. The second step is identify the factors that may have contributed to the perceived problem. So next one is literature review. So most of the students will ask, what is literature review? Why it is required? For example, my dear faculty members, you are going to start your research in 2021, means you have to collect minimum 5 years paper. That is from 2016 to 2021, you have to collect all the research paper which are published by the other researcher in your area. We have to collect. That is called collecting the papers. Then after that, why it is necessary? Why we have to do reviewing this paper? See, always it avoids the duplication of the work. And also, it helps the researcher to find out what others have learned and reported. And what are all the different kinds of methodology followed by other researchers? What are all the important controversies and contradictions and inconsistencies in the finding? So these are all, that's why we go for reviewing the literature, right? Now the problem is ready. Already we written the statement, we justified, we analyzed. Now literature serving also over. What is the next one? Now the problem is ready. Now we have to write the research objectives. Normally I used to say my research students, always you should select 3 to 4 objectives, so that for each objectives we can write one research paper, so that it is very easy to write our thesis, right? So always the research objective precisely say what should be researched to delineate the type of information that could be collected and provide a framework for the scope of study. Right. Now the research objective is ready. Now we have to select the design. How to, what methodology I am going to select for my research. Normally there are 4 basic researches there. Research design, one is survey, second one is experiment, then secondary data study and observational study. So among the 4, which one I have to select? It is based on the type of problem, objective of study, existing state of knowledge about the problem, then what are all the resources available. Based on that, we have to choose any one of the 4. I hope that, my dear participant, I hope that you are following. The next one is how to collect the data. Always, the collection of data depends upon objectives, research design, availability of time, and money. Okay. Next, once we collect the data, then we have to process. Normally, there are 2 processes involved, that is editing and coding. So, normally the editing process ensures the consistency. Normally, it reduces the errors in the recording and it improves the eligibility, clarifies the unclear and inappropriate responses. Next process is coding. See, it is not at all possible to place the raw data into the report, right? So that's why we normally used alphanumeric codes because that will reduce the storage and also much useful for future processing, right? So next one is analyzing the data. So this is a small intro about the research, type of research, and what are all the process involved in research. Now we will go for our title, right? What's our aim? We have to improve the research competency of the students, right? So for that, now we are that for that traditional classroom learning is not sufficient, right? That's why alternative learning like problem based learning, project based learning, research based learning, case based learning, number of types are available. So why we have to go for this alternative? What is the importance of this kind of learning? Actually, classroom learning, traditional classroom learning is always a faculty centered, or we can say it is teacher centered, right? But alternatives are student focused. It allowed the active learning. That is very important. And second one is it developed the life skills that enhance the content knowledge, critical thinking, then collaboration and self-learning skills of the student. And also in this kind of learning, students have a chance to resolve a real world experiences. And in this kind of learning, teachers are not act as a source of solution, but they are act as a facilitator, or we can say a mentor, right? So now from traditional classroom teaching, now we came for alternative, right? So in the among the alternative, which one I have to choose to improve the research competency? So for that, I select first four thing because we want to link the research in the syllabus of a course, isn't it? That's why there are four research oriented learnings are there. First one is RO, research oriented learning, then RL, research led learning, then research tutored learning, then research based learning. Now, among the four, which one is best to implement the research in our curriculum or to link the research in the syllabus of the course? Okay, for that, I'm going to compare this four. So I draw a table, then in which learning students are act as only the participant, or whether that is whether the students are only audience or really involved in the research. We have to find. And the next one is next two factors I consider. That is one is whether that kind of learning emphasis on research content or it emphasis on research process and problems. So which one is best? Here the students has to be really involved in the research. They should be a participant. Second requirement is this based learning emphasis on research process and research problem. We will say which one is best. See, the research tutored one here, a group of students with a faculty. So here this one is students are act as a participants, but it will emphasis on research content. Okay, so here the teacher will explain their research findings to the students. In the case of research led, here the students are not actively participated in the research. They are act as the audience because here the faculty is only disseminating the research interest of her or himself. Then what about in research based? So here the research tutored and research led emphasis on research content. Research based learning, okay, research based learning here actually students are involved in real research process. They are doing the project based, they are involved in the project based activities. So this is here the students are involved, and also this kind of research based learning emphasis on research process and problems. Then what about research oriented? This research oriented, here the course content emphasis the procedural knowledge about the research interest of the faculty member, or we can say learning about the process by which the knowledge is produced. So we can say that in research led and research oriented learning, here students are act as the audience. In research tutored and research based learning, students are act as the participant. Among the four, research oriented and research based only emphasis on research process and problems. The research tutored and research led emphasis on research content. My dear faculty member, now you may confusion. So without example, how we will understood, right? Okay, I will give you an example to you, right? Now, so among the four, we understood that where the students are actually involved in research tutored and research based. That okay, right? So here in research oriented, here what we will do is we will invite the students to the lab and observe what are all the research in the real world. So here the students are not involved in research, just they are observing, that's all. But in research based learning, here we introduce the students to inquiry based learning, that is where they are required to formulate and answer their own research question. You understand? So they identify the research problem, okay? They identify the research problem, then they will involved in the research process, and they will get the result, then they will publish the paper. Okay, but in the case of research oriented, here students, we will give a presentation of a research method and approach. We will ask the students to read the research paper. We analyzing the figure, diagrams and tables and simulators present in the paper. Just they observe, not involved in the research. In the case of research oriented. But this research oriented, here the students is, even though it emphasis on research process and problems, but here the students are only audience. So among the four, the best one is research based learning, because here the students are involved in the research, and also this learning emphasis on research process and problems. So among the four, research based learning is the best one. So this learning is I take it as a tool which is used for implement the research in curriculum, or we can say we are going to link the research in each course of a program, right? Now I will give you with example. Hope that, my dear faculty member, if you have any doubts at the end, you please ask. Now, what is research-based learning? Okay, so here, this learning is the integration of theoretical knowledge with the appropriate data collection and analysis, then to examine, verify, or study a phenomenon. So here, in order to develop the research competency of our students, nowadays, most of the higher education institution are realize the importance of research-based learning. So here, both theory, each course, normally in theory course, normally we use study only theory, or we will study the corresponding lab. But here in each course or in each subject, results also involved. How we will see. So the research-based teaching implies that the students carry out the research in their courses. So this form of teaching and learning actually focus on the joint acquisition of new knowledge by faculty and students. So what is the intention of research-based learning? So the main intention is, so we are the faculty members of higher education institution, right, or a university. So through the academic, or we can say through the curriculum, we have to give a positive mood to the students so that the students build a strong intellectual and practical connection between the research frontiers and students' self-learning. That is the main intention. Or we can say RBL implies, that is research-based learning implies, the application of learning and teaching strategies that link the research with teaching. Okay, now what are the, now I already told that we decided research-based learning is the tool which link the research to the subject. Now, what are all the benefits? Definitely, it improving the students' motivation. It improve the students' skills such as group work, because it is a project involved, right? So, group work, time and resource management. Then definitely it develop the new skills and ability which is useful for the students' successful professional life as well as the personal life. Because of research burning based learning, student love of learning, so that they become the lifelong learners, right? So these are all some of the benefits of research based learning. Okay, now how the students are benefited by this research-based learning? That is, what are all its educational benefits, professional benefits, and personal benefits? Educational benefits means here in all the subject research oriented. So they are work closely with the faculty member. So they learning about and the issues and methods that the leaders in the students chosen field. Then it's sharpening the problem solving skill of the students. So this is about the educational benefits. What about their personal benefits? So this exploring and preparing for future careers, it enhancing the professional communication skill. So they are collaboratively with, because they are going to do a research as a group. So collaboratively working with others and working effectively as a part of a team. Right. What is the professional personal benefits? So that will improve the analytical analytical and independent thinker. So it will improve the critical thinking, writing, and speaking of a student. Then meeting the challenges and demonstrating the ability to complete a project. So these are all the benefits of the students by the RBL. Now, what about the benefits of ourselves, faculty members? So here it will build a strong student teacher relationship, right? And second one is, normally my dear faculty, how we will prepare the notes for our class. We will spend more for 1 hour theory. We have to spend minimum 4 hours for good teaching, isn't it? But here, since the research also involved, this we will spend only a less time for teaching preparation, right? Then we will involved in the research process. The contribution to the research process will be more for the faculty. So these three are the potential benefits of the faculty for the faculty by RPL. Right. Now, we have to draw a framework for RBL. As I already told that to improve the research competency, we selected research-based learning as a tool. Okay. Now, there are four framework are there. Now, my dear faculty, you may be from autonomous colleges or you may be a university. So, we have to prepare the syllabus of each course, right? For each course, while we preparing the syllabus, we will write what about the objective of the subject and what are all the outcomes. So, in research based learning, along with that, we have to set what are the research outcome of the subject. That also we have to include. Then we have to introduce extensive and judicious research process methods of teaching and learning. Then we have to organize more workshops as well as tutorial for that subject, because then only students are able to understand how to use the research tool, because for each subject now research is involved. So to involve the research, how to handle the research tool, that's very important. That's why they have to organize workshops and tutorials related to the research tools. Then the next one, we have to developing and including the research context. Right. Now, what are all the 6 strategies have to be incorporated in research based curriculum into research based learning into curriculum? There are 6 strategies. We will see one by one. The first strategy is draw on personal research in designing and teaching courses. What it is? See, actually, for we have, for example, if you see in engineering, there are there are 8 semester, so 8 into 5, 40 theories. So totally some 60 subjects are there, right? Isn't it? So the whole syllabus of the each subject should focus the research. That is very important. And the second one is always, while we explain the theory, our own research experience, we have to share with our students so that the students are easily understand the concepts as well as the theory. That is the first strategy. Now, the second strategy is involve students in departmental research project. See here, in science and engineering faculty, normally we received fund from DST or any other funding organization, isn't it? So that module, the big project can be splitted into too many small projects. Then we can give this small module to the group of students. Okay, so that will improve the research capability of our student. Similarly, we can assign our UG students as a research assistant to our faculty member, those who are pursuing research in our department. Okay, and also we will arrange some visit for the students to the research center as well as the industries. That is the second strategy for incorporating the RTL. Now, the third one, teach research methods, techniques, and skills explicitly within programs. So here, normally in most of the university in Tamil Nadu, normally in your state also, that research methodology subject is available only as a coursework in the research program. It is not available in the UG programs. But here, to understand, we should develop the student understanding of research methodology during the laboratory classes. That's very important. And second one is, we have to provide a course, research methodology in the each UG subject itself. That is these points are implied by the third strategy. Now, fourth one, build small scale research activities into undergraduate assignments. So here we have to give a small projects to the student, to the group of the students. We will, or we can ask our students to analyze the research data that exists from the real world project. And we will ask our student to conduct a small scale literature review. We will ask the students to design the methodology. We will ask the students to collect the data, write up the result and conclusion. So this is about the fourth strategy. And the fifth one is encourage our students to feel part of the research culture of department. Actually, we have to inform our students. Now, for example, in each department, we have some 20 to 40 faculty may be there, depending upon the students count, right? So, we should inform what is the research interest as well as the strength of the department faculty to the students. That is very important. Similarly, for example, our friends are doing some research from other college. We can introduce our friends' research area. We will call our friends and give a seminar to our student about their research finding. We will encourage our UG students to participate in the research seminars also. This is about fifth strategy. And the sixth one is infuse teaching with the value of researchers. Actually, we have to make our student or encourage our student to understand the values of the researchers, such as objectivity, respect for evidence, respect for others' views, tolerance of ambiguity. Okay, so this one is the six. So we should follow all the six strategy, right, for RBL. Now, so everything we talk about in only theoretical. Now I am going to explain how to link a research in a particular subject. So for that, I am going to consider one subject, how I am going to link the research, how we are going to implement the research. First one, actually here, I'm explaining a framework, how they implemented the research or how they link the research in teaching in the undergraduate level. This is proposed by the University of Alberta, Canada. Okay, here there is a graph which shows the relationship between the learning environment and the learning outcomes. Learning environment means one is teacher focused and the other one is student focused. Okay, so here the learning environment which start from instructor centered, that is teacher focused, to the learning centered, student focused. And similarly, for learning outcomes, actually, it is developed increasing the way we following the Bloom's taxonomy level, which start from remember, understand, apply, evaluate, and create. So, what we understood from this graph? So, whenever the learning improvement goes from instructor centered to learning centered, then what about the learning outcome? It is improving from remember level to create level. So this is the framework implemented by the University of Alberta. Okay, now we will go for example. Right. So I took one example, that is here the name of the department, or I can say the program is UG Computational System Engineering. Name of the institution is Tecnológico de Monterrey. It is in Mexico City. The name of the subject or the courses Analysis and Science of Big Data Volumes. Actually, they implemented in 2018 So it is an odd semester, not odd semester, even semester from that is January to May, totally 16 weeks. Okay, so totally 16 weeks. So the objective of the subject analysis and science of big data volume is, this is the objective of the subject, that is to implement information technology solution within projects that involve the strategic analysis of data to generate value in the substantive task of a specific industry, redefine the business logic to guide it towards the analysis of data as a generator of differential value. Okay, that's not important for us. And now, this block diagram, it shows how they implemented, how they linked the research in the particular clause, analysis and science and big data volumes. Okay, the step one is diagnosis of research-based learning competences. The main difficulty here is, for example, in one class, 40 to 70 students may be there. We doesn't know the research competency or research caliber of the students. Each student have different calibers. Then without knowing this, we can't link the research to the subject, isn't it? That is why to understand the research competency of the each student, they form a survey. They form a form a survey. They prepare a questions based on this title. Actually, the first one is information search strategies, tool management, database, reliable information sources, research methodology, oral and written communication skills, ability to do group work in research team. So these are all the titles required. So in this area, whether the students are having the caliber or not, it has to be checked by the faculty member. So they prepare a question. So this is the question, which consists of 6. Okay, so here they gave some 5 answers. One is strongly agree, next one is agree, then neither agree nor agree, then disagree, then strongly disagree. Now for understanding purpose, I'm going to read the first question. What is the first area? Information search strategies. Whether the students know the procedure to search the journals or not. So, through work I have undertaken in my previous courses, I have developed excellent information search strategies. For this question, first question, strongly agree the blue color, orange color only agree. Then next this gray color is the next one, that is neither agree nor agree. Then next that is light yellow color disagree. Okay, so from the survey, the faculty understood that 50% of the students are responded that they have a basic research competency. Okay, so their research competency is only in the basic level. So they can't go to research directly. For that, they have to conduct some workshop. Okay, so the second step is introduction to research methodology. So they conduct some workshop based on the survey. That is, here the workshop name is Source of Information for Research. Aspects of evaluating websites as a research resource. Use of the library, digital library. Okay, so these are all the different. What is monography? Monography means preparation of a report. Okay, so now, so once the workshop gets over, then the faculty asked the student. They gave a title. She gave a title, that is big data platforms that support data science development. Under this topic, the faculty asked the student to collect all the papers in the 5 years. After collecting the papers, students has to read the paper, Then they have to write a report under the topics, that is what is the background of the platform, technical description, applications, trends, advantages and disadvantages, main conclusion, and references. So, under these topics, after reading all these things, they have to prepare a report. Along with the report, the faculty asks the students to put a comparative table of the surveyed platform with a summary of characteristic also, right? So, one monography and a comparative table. Now the faculty has to evaluate that report, right? For that, the faculty prepared a rubric also. So this is the rubric. The rubric consists of 5 category. One is information strategy. For that, 20% weightage is provided. Then information sources, 15%. Then organization of the report, 15%. Writing communication of the student, some 20%. Then comparative for table, 30% weightage is given by the faculty. So now the students are submitted the report. It is evaluated by the faculty with the help of the rubrics. So here most of the 70% of the students are got the acceptable grade. Okay. So what is the first step? First step, the diagnosis of the research competency, isn't it? Second step, conduction of workshop. Third one, we gave a question and asked them to write the report. Parallelly, for this subject, they have a theory, there are 5 modules or 5 units are there. So, parallelly, the faculty has to take the 3 modules. Before that, I left, sorry for that. Then after evaluation, the evaluation result. What is the first one? Whether the students are able to search the journal properly or not. So here, all the team of students are carried out adequate strategy to search for information. And the second one is, what about the source of information? The source of information cited by the students were current and documented and in a requested format. That also okay. Then what about the organization of the report? That also, the information available in the report was very well organized, right? Then what about the communication skill, written communication? Although most of the team didn't have grammar errors, but some teams have spelling or punctuation errors. And the last one is comparison table, right? So here the teams perform a good analysis and most comparisons of the platforms were well adequate. Then the faculty member check the plagiarism of the report too. So maximum, actually the plagiarism is starting from 3 to 14% of plagiarism only available. So now 3 processes are over. Parallelly, the faculty took 3 basic modules of that subject. That is introduction of data science and analysis of large volume of data, data analysis life cycle, then basic methods of data analysis using R. So these are all the this is the first 3 modules of the particular subject what we selected. What is the name of the subject? Analysis and science of big data volumes. Okay. Now, so this is the first phase. So now the second one is they go for approach to the challenge. What do you mean approach to the challenge? So actually, the faculty give a research problem to the student team. What is that problem? That is, they have to investigate the trends and advanced techniques in data science, big data, and deep learning in the health. This is the corresponding to the subject. Similarly, we, based on our subject, we have to give a problem to the students, right? So now here the student has to investigate the trends and advanced techniques in data science and big data. So they are asked to predict the models for metabolic syndrome based on open source database. So this is the problem given by the faculties to the student. What is the problem? They have to get a predictive models for metabolic syndrome based on open source database with the help of trends and advanced techniques in data science and big data. Okay, so this is the problem. Metabolic syndrome means it is the cluster of condition, that is increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol or something. So, okay, this is about metabolic syndrome. Now, at the same time, so the problem is given to the each team of students. At the same time, the faculty is conducted some workshops also. What are the workshops? How to what is research projects? What are all the research process? What are all the types of research? How to write the research article? So parallelly, they conducted the workshops also, right? So that is the diagram says. Then after that, so here the main then parallelly they conduct the next two modules of the subject, which consist of clustering using k-means method, rules of association. The next, which are all the advanced portion of the particular subject. That was the taken, right? Then they ask the students, okay, once the research process, that is they get the results. After that, they have to write a research paper. Okay, it has to be published. For that, they gave the titles also: the introduction, theoretical framework, problem statement, methodology, results and discussion, conclusion. So once the students' problem, the research gets over, based on the result, they have to write a report. They have to present the paper in front of the faculty member with the help of PPT. Then after that, for any one of the good indexed journal, they have to send for publication. Okay, so these are all the process involved to link the research in a particular subject. So now we will come to the conclusion. So what are all the steps involved to link your research in a subject? So as a faculty member, first what we have to do? First you have to check the research competency of the student. For that, you have to prepare a question paper or put a survey, and we have to set some titles. What are all the which one are required for the research? Then based on the survey, you have to conduct some workshops. Then after that, you have to give one problem that you give a title based on your subject. You ask your student to collect the research paper corresponding to the title, then ask a report, that is called monography. After you have to evaluate, that is the first phase. Then parallelly, we have to cover the 3 units of that particular subject. In the second phase, what we have to do? We have to give a challenge to the all teams, okay, based upon your subject. Then we have to conduct the workshop. What do you mean research project? How to do the research? What are the types of research? How to prepare a research paper? Everything you have to inform through a workshop. Then parallelly we have to give the next 2 advanced units also. Then once the students team, then faculty also involved in all the student teams, we have to guide in a proper way so that they will do the research for each course. They will do the research and they will publish a paper. So, in this way, my dear faculty members, we can implement research in each subject, or we can say we can implement implement research in the curriculum. So, this is the conclusive part. First one is diagnosis, second one is conduction of workshop, third one is asking the report. This is phase one. And parallelly, we have to complete 3 basic modules. In second one, we have to give a challenge. We have to conduct the research workshop. We will ask to write a paper, and we ask the student to present the paper. Then they have to publish the paper. Parallelly, we will teach the next 2 modules, advanced 2 modules of the corresponding subject. So, in this way, we can implement the research in curriculum through the research-based learning. So, I hope that, my dear faculty member, you understand. So, these are all the few examples where successfully researchers linked in the curriculum by the Warwick University, England, Griffith University, Australia, then the University of California also implemented, University of Texas, University of Leeds in UK, the Russell Group. All these I gave few example. So I hope that in our country, especially in our country also, we will implement to the research in the curriculum in the undergraduate level also. I hope that my presentation is useful to you. Thank you. Thank for giving the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your elaborative and illustrative speech on research in curriculum. You also have emphasized research-based learning for making learning really meaningful. You also mentioned the strategies to inculcate research culture among students. Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening lecture. Now, naturally, after the keynote speech, the topic is open for discussion. So all